When you come to property investing, you're put into those conditions where people would put you in a tight spot of pressure. But ultimately, it's okay to pay a bit more extra, right? And that's what I keep telling people, that the market is moving so fast that it makes a lot more sense for you to pay an extra 10K to secure a property that 30 other people want. 90% of the times you would end up making the wrong choice because it's a choice in duress. Right? What's the point of driving an R8 when you are in your 70s? I believe in manifestation massively. You just connect to the right people and the thing starts falling in the right places, right? Co-living properties can generate almost $140,000 in passive income and net of $40,000 in passive income after mortgage repayments, and they sit in an average yield of about 10%. Hello and welcome to Help Me Buy Property podcast. Today, our discussion is an interesting client story. They're friends, they're part of the family now, Sarah and Luke. We are going to talk about their property investment journey, some of the milestones that they've achieved and hit, some of the mistakes that they've made, and how have they transitioned their life around property and property investing. So let's give a big round of applause to Sarah and Luke on coming on the show today. Sarah and Luke, how are you today?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having us.
So talk to me a bit about yourself.
A personal trainer who work in gyms. I'm a Pilates instructor as well.
Nice.
I run my own business, looking after clients online, helping them with their fitness and their nutrition.
Amazing.
And now I work with the IPG family.
How long have you been doing the Pilates side of things?
Since COVID, actually. So I was working in the beauty industry for a bit over 10 years, and then COVID happened, shut down that industry quite quickly, and I became personal trainer in lockdown.
Nice. Amazing. Like a virtual personal assistant. Oh, well, WA was never in lockdown, right?
No, we were here.
Oh, you were here in Melbourne at that time.
Yeah, when we went through lockdown. Yeah. And I think that was, again, another reason why we wanted to leave.
Blame it to the government. And what about you, Luke? How's life been?
Years now, and then recent change up and coming over IPG as a buyer's agent. It's been a change. It's interesting. Me and Sarah chatting about it last week, but it's like 4 or 5 years ago, I said I wanted to get into property, and I had a big passion for property. Tried a few things here in Melbourne, but it eventuated multiple years later. Which is kind of a crazy thing.
Yeah. He looks like a tradie, but at a tradie. No, I think when I met him, he said, I don't want to be an electrician forever.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on the tools.
The property thing was always in the back of my head. I tried property stuff in Melbourne, and obviously the last year our property journey has been pretty crazy.
Yeah. What was the motivation for the property investing? Like, was it wealth creation? Was it making more money? Was it, financial?
Position to retire by 40.
And you would know what the real estate industry is like. It's a lot of people that you just can't trust.
Yeah.
A lot of very select few companies that you can trust going to a project like that. They know what they're doing. These guys did. We tried to get that over the line. Council refused it and the BCAT refused it. So we sort of that was around the
It's a
time
very long, stressful process.
3 years of trying to get that through council.
Wow.
It ate up a lot of money.
Interesting side of that is when I was going through that, process and really trying to figure it, because we were just throwing money at it constantly, because they were asking, this change and traffic engineering. And that's when I started reaching out to people and actually got in contact with you.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
It's the first time I had someone not ask for money and not and actually just give good advice and not feel like I was getting sucked into another, traps.
Yeah.
Especially at a time when you were very vulnerable with the situation and could have easily, gone even worse.
Good people through it and learn a lot. And we end up not doing that.
Yeah.
Development. We sold it very, still made it. Luckily the market had gone up.
Yeah.
But it gone this direction, which we probably sold just the right time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, property's been, my mum has invested in property. Property's been something that's been with me for a long time.
In the blood, in the family.
I think we both just look at people who work their entire lives and work towards, 60, 65 to retire and then try and live.
Yeah.
That's just not who we are.
Yeah.
We work hard, but you don't get another chance. Like, I just want to live now. I don't want to wait for it. So, yeah.
Definitely.
And we don't want to be too old to enjoy retirement.
Yes. Yeah. What's the point of driving an R8, when you are in your 70s, right? So, yeah.
And I lost trouble. So I don't want to wait until I can't move very much.
Yeah, 100%.
Able to travel.
Yeah, definitely. And they say, once you go business, you never go back, right? So
we saw the bit on the flight over at the New Seats, and I remember what you said, that you wanted to make enough money to never have to fly.
Yes, economy.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like that.
I think small milestones, right? You don't need to have $1 million milestones, right? Everyone is like, oh, I want to retire X. I'd be like, well, yes, but there needs to be some sort of small targets that you want to achieve as well, right? Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And I think, a lot of people, when you think about property development or property investing, right, they do go down those paths, right? Because it is, if you do it right, there is a lot of money to be made. 100%, there's no doubt about it, right? But the question is, as a first-time investor, should you or do you need to go down that path? Right? Where is the most safest? Where do you start in doing so in such a way that you're not burning yourself or you're not killing yourself, right? I remember making the same mistake 2014, 15 when I did my first development. 2014 to be specific, when I did my first development, I went head in, right? Bought a property thinking it's a good. I didn't know that this was a development site. Met someone who said, hey, you can do development here. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do it. Spent almost 2.5 years doing that. And, it was a money pit, right? When the developments are just money, you just keep, with fingers crossed that hopefully something amazing is going to come out of this. And, look, I'm in touch wood. My development did go well. But, I remember 2017 when I finished it and brought the stock up, the market tanked. And I was like, what happened here? I was planning to sell them at $750, $760. The real estate agent was pretty comfortable, pretty confident. I took them to an auction and 2 people turned up and neither one of them bid. And I still remember my wife there with me, and we were in Sydney. I flew down from Sydney to Melbourne to basically go through that auction. And then you have and so this was Ray and White in Preston. And so they had I think 8 agents who basically walked in. And they started oh, you need to sell, this is the best offer, 620 is what you're going to get. And my wife, I still remember this. My wife started crying. She's like, this is way too much pressure.
Yeah.
What the hell? And that always resonates with me, that when you come to property investing, you're put into those conditions where people would put you in a tight spot of pressure, where it's either you go this way or that way, and there is no other choice. And 90% of the times you would end up making the wrong choice, because it's a choice in, right? You don't know what you don't know, right? So,
well, what happened was you were going to knock down the house and build 2, and you took it to the planner, and he said, well, you actually can build 3. And when somebody tells someone that you can make more money and we think that you can do 3, you don't really question it. But it was that third property that the council was causing all of the issues with the council, and that's ultimately why it got rejected.
Yeah.
It's so just bad advice.
We did this one project, and this is still in the planning phase right now, planning to be approved over the next 2 weeks. And this is exactly the case. And everyone can fall into this mix. The architect, and this is the architect that I've worked with almost 6 years now, right? And so they drew a plan presented it to me. I didn't like it. We make changes for almost 2 weeks, every day changes. And then the final plan that I looked at, I was like, that doesn't look exactly what I said to him in the first instance, right? And so this is the advice that I gave him. I was like, forget what's on the paper. This is what I want you to build again, and go and do it again. And he's like, oh, but you can move this and move that. And I was like, no, there is no Frankenstein moves anymore. I want you to take a blank piece of paper and redraw this, right? Yeah. And when he redrew it with just the expectations that I was trying to get to, it was a completely different design. Yeah. And it was such an amazing design. And he was surprised himself as to how good the design was. And I was like, well, sometimes you need to almost take a step back and say, look, trash this, because, too much moving. It's gone into a Frankenstein mode. And
don't get yourself taken on a ride by property spookers, so-called property investment advisors, or buyer's agents who are selling house and land packages or off-the-plan properties or apartments. Get yourself a copy of this book called The Millennial's Guide to Property Investing. This book is not just for millennials. The title suggests, but it's actually the most advanced way of investing in property. This book will relate to your clients, your colleagues, and other business owners. There are so many property spookers out there who have come out of the woodwork over the last 3 to 5 years. And there is so much misinformation out there that I had to write a book about all the F-ups that people can actually avoid in order to be super successful in their property investment journey. Some of these are really easy to identify, but they are so costly to fix once these mistakes are made. So it's a short book. It's easy to read. It has a lot of stories. It has a lot of examples, and it is a true guide for people who wants to do it themselves. My name is Moxin Reza. This is my story, and a lot of you will relate to parts of this story if you're not born in the riches, and if you're trying to build a property portfolio that can last generations and help you improve your lifestyle along the way. So I give you a chance to come out there and have a read. Be kind, stay safe, keep smiling, keep investing, and please do check out the book.
With ours too, they were just making some of the block shapes end up being strange. It's like,
yes,
as you can see, there have been so many elements.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So many types.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So it's amazing, like how sometimes, getting a fresh perspective can change the mindset. So you guys did take a fresh perspective and went back in and started again. So
yeah.
Talk to me a bit about that.
Well, like when we were ready to go again and start again, Luke said, we're going to use a buyer's agent, and how that process worked and what it looked like. And I said, well, why are we giving somebody money to do something we can do ourselves? And he was like, so that situation doesn't happen again. Yeah. So that we go with people that have experience and know what they're doing, so mistakes don't get made again. Can't waste any more money with the wrong investment.
Yeah, so we spoke, and I remember, obviously we spoke about diamonds. I actually didn't know PGT, the
buyer's agency, yes.
So I sat down for probably 6 months and interviewed.
We talked to a lot of people.
Buyer's agents. Because I was meticulous in who I got on. Like, the conversation was like, if I get any red flags from anybody, it needs to be a perfect outcome for me to go back into a relationship with somebody.
We talked to some buyer's agents, and this was before Luke did his training, that he knew more than they did.
They can find a deal and buy a property. It's not going to be any better than what you sell.
100%.
So yeah, and then I ended up, I came back to you guys because I, came back and realized you guys did acquisition. And there's no one I spoke to that knew the numbers and the data like you guys. So it was a no-brainer for us, and it's obviously worked out quite well now that we're working for you.
So before you started working, we'll come to that as well, because there was a transition between you doing what you were doing as a client, and I'm always grateful people turning to us and, becoming part of the family. But before you did that, you build your portfolio. And so talk to me a bit about the portfolio first.
3 houses this year.
Amazing.
Yeah. We did our PPOR in January, and that was a very emotional purchase on my behalf.
Yeah.
Because we rented our home while we still lived here in Melbourne. Drove across the Nullarbor, had never seen the house before, hadn't seen the neighborhood, didn't know where we were going, and got to our home and fell in love with it. It was perfect. So we thought we'd hit the jackpot with the rental, and then a few months later they told us that they were putting it up for sale.
Ouch.
Yes. Luke was at work in his mining job, so he was away, and I called him crying. I said, I don't want to leave. This is like, I love this house. I love the neighborhood. And we were going to buy an investment. We were just about to start. I actually think he had his first call booked, the strategist. And he's, well, if you really want it, we can try and buy it. And so luckily it's turned out to be a good investment, and it's grown a lot this year.
But it's what, you know, some property purchases, like I'm a big one on, like I was always invest first, buy the PPOI later, but we're in that position where we're like, we don't buy this, our whole lifestyle's going to go out the window. Plus, we're right near the beach. We're in a perfect house, perfect neighborhood. Everything was so good if we were not like to go through that property. Like,
and because we work from home as well, our home needs to be somewhere we want to be.
100%.
Where we enjoy.
And it was a good price point, right?
Well,
it's
like 7 to 8 for it. Well, I think we around that, but I think we overpaid a little bit. But
maybe only by 10 to be lying down then.
WMI.
That is rocketed. Yeah.
But ultimately, it's okay to pay a bit more extra, right? You know, and that's what I keep telling people, that it's not an emotional decision. It's a logical decision, right? The market is moving so fast that it makes a lot more sense for you to pay an extra 10K to secure a property that 30 other people want, because they are going to go out there and overpay as well at some given point in time, right? And that's what exactly happened in Secret Harbour, right? So
that's where we live.
So
very lucky with that one.
The sign went up out the front, sold off market, and I had 3 different people say to me, I was waiting for that house to go up for sale.
Really? Yeah.
And so
you bought the house that you were renting.
So that was January. And then in June, we purchased our first investment through IPG in Bunbury. That was an amazing find.
Great deal,
yeah.
I think we purchased for $415. It's on a very big block of land.
Development potential.
Yes, yeah.
Already gone up quite a lot.
And the strategy for that is basically we can retain the front and build something in the back as well.
Yeah, the equity in that is going quite well already.
So 3 properties in the first year. That's awesome. Very, very good. I'm always of the believer that, you know, life happens around everything, you know, while property is just a part of your decision-making process, right? So you can't stop stuff to do life, or you can't stop life to do property, right? It needs to basically be in like this massive symphony where everything works together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I see what helps us make decisions like this, you know, whether it's the wedding or buying another property, much easier and faster. Is like we are meticulous at managing our finances.
Yeah, we're very financially aware with what we have coming in and what is going out and what things are going to cost.
Yeah, we have everything. We have multiple, probably 8 accounts at the moment. Different.
I said to him the other day, when you get home, we have to set up another bank account. He's like, no, we don't. We do. I need another bank account. Yeah. We just have money flowing in and out.
We talk about money almost a day.
Yeah. And I think that's the fun bit, right? I think if you think about it, that you're like, when I talk about budgets to people, it's not about living frugally. It's about living with more structure. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know exactly.
Yeah, we get to use our money for things that we enjoy without worrying that it's affecting our lifestyle and our
100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. It's more structured investing. It's more structured buying. It's more structured spending, right? It's you know, you basically go with the plan in place, right? So all that is basically that, right?
Yeah.
I like to think. I can't remember who said it, but it's like the way we manage the finances and I suppose our relationships almost a business, isn't it? It's the back end of the finances and the way we make decisions is very business structured.
Yeah.
We both had that business experience, so it sort of makes sense for us to do it.
Yeah. Way less stressful.
Yeah. And it's very open communication around it all.
Yeah.
And how does this all came together? So property, marriage, IPG, the transition. Let's talk a bit about that.
I was actually talking about it yesterday. I still remember, I think it was a Sunday morning and I woke up and Luke was on his phone. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm trying to figure out a way to move forward, to do something else, to get out of electrical, get out of mining, because I think he was dreading going back to work. Happy.
Pretty sure it's all week.
Yeah, and so I'm sure he was awake all night going, what can I do? And he goes, you know what? I think I'm going to message Moxin and see if he has any openings or is looking for a buyer's agent.
Yeah.
It's like, I know he doesn't have anybody in Perth, and I know that they're buying in Perth, so I'll just try.
Yeah.
And I think reworded that message about 10 times together.
Yeah, but you're like, what would you, you're like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
I think he'll be fine. I don't think he's going to need help.
Yeah. And then I think you responded with like in a few hours saying yes. And I was like, what is happening? Okay. It doesn't hurt to ask. That's for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I suppose to me, the gravitation towards property is always, there's always going to be a natural thing, whether that was building out a property business of some sort or investing. Yes, cash flow.
Yeah.
But, like I said, it's like 4 or 5 years ago, I said I want to be a buyer's agent. I just hadn't had the
It's manifestation to a certain extent as well, right? I believe in manifestation massively. You think about something and you think over and over, and you just connect to the right people and the things starts falling in the right places. I'm so privileged that a lot of the team that I've built, and not just with IPG, and you guys know that multiple businesses now, everything happens for a reason and things just fall in place. You just need to think about the direction and do the right thing, right? Ultimately that's what it comes down to. So
yeah, it's like, it's weird, some of the things we're talking about 4 years, 5 years, like we went through a lot of challenges over those years, and now it's almost seemed like the next WA, but I suppose it was just the right timing, but all those things are starting to now come into our lives, and it's like one after the other. Because we've had crazy good luck that we've had the last 5 years prior to that have been a nightmare.
Yeah.
So many challenges. But the last couple of years for us
Definitely created that luck.
yeah, 100%. That's what it is. I think, people tend to underestimate what they do and how they've created their own life in the future. Like I say to people all the time that destiny is something that you control. It's not something that you wait for. No one is going to hand deliver your destiny to you. Ultimately, it comes down to you in making sure that, you show the right hustle for people to see that hustle, right? And 100%. Yeah. So it's very interesting. And I think that, career transition happened for both of you. So, I understand about Luke, and you've shared a bit of that. Sarah, talk a bit about your career transition.
Well, yeah. So it's kind of crazy at the same time in terms of how that went about, because Luke was always talking about working with IPG and how much he loved it and loved the team. And he would say, I think when the time is right, if Moss has any openings for somebody to join the team in terms of a client upfront facing role, you'd be perfect for it. And he was like, but let me work there for a little longer and, gain trust and show them that I'm a good worker. I can't ask for another favor. And then it just so happened that you posted about openings for cash flow and that position and those, client facing roles are what I've done in my own business, building my business myself over the last 4 years. And it's just what I've really excelled in. I love meeting new people. I love creating the relationships with them. I love hearing their story, and I love hearing what they want to achieve and knowing that we can do something to help that and connecting on that level. So when cash flow came up, that was definitely something that we jumped on. And then the transition to IPG has just been amazing. I think it's so much fun. I enjoy it so much. And I think it works well with like us being at home, me meeting potential new clients and being able to say, Luke's just in the other room if you want to ask a question. Like, I've got one of the buyer's agents here, actually.
100%. And it also helps that, you have been through the journey yourself. You have, it's a big plus, right? Because you've part of the journey. You've seen how the strategies work. You understand the strategies now because you're following a strategy yourself. So it comes out quite powerful as well. And I'm super privileged that a lot of team that we've built around is either they were ex-clients who have basically joined the business, or they were people who have been following us and, they have taken some sort of advice and basically jump on board. So a lot of the people in the business are basically that, and that too, the whole level, right? It's not just like people that I'm working with, but also people who have taken leadership positions into the business. And they are all of those who are a client at some stage in their life, they've part and joined the PT.
Makes it easier when you believe in it and you've seen that it works for yourself. So sharing that with other people.
100%.
Yeah,
Definitely.
working for something that you believe in makes a difference.
Yeah. How was the process?
The process of coming on board. Yeah. I was surprised. I mean, there's still a lot to learn and I want to keep learning as much as possible, but the process itself was quite easy, very streamlined. Very, like, everyone was extremely welcoming. The team is so helpful and I feel like, anything that I've needed to ask, Hugo's fantastic, very helpful. So the process is, I just find it like talking to the clients coming on, I just can relate to them. So I just really enjoy it.
Any final words for people who are in a similar boat like you when you're talking about, couples who are, planning their marriage or starting their life or starting their property journey? What would be the, say, 3 key things that you would tell them that this is what you need to do first before you do anything else?
The finances, that needs to be, that's the foundation of our whole life, basically. It's like nothing would go well for us if our accounts and our finances weren't organized properly. So we can make calls quickly and make big decisions without really overthinking it. That obviously we need you need to have a good solid plan in place.
Yeah, the strategy.
And constantly especially a relationship, be good communicators in relationship community. It's taken us to how to communicate properly.
We were not very good at communication at the start of our relationship.
Yeah. Because you both have different risk appetite, right? It's okay, right?
Yeah, I've got a much bigger risk appetite.
And every relationship, and look, I've done thousands of strategies now, and it's always the case, right? You ask my wife and she'd be like, I don't want to do any investing. I just want my house paid off. That's it, right? And so it's always the case.
I think the thing that kind of got me over the line with my risk being different to his was, I always don't like to spend money. I'm quite frugal. And he said, Sarah, the money's not really going anywhere. It's in that house. So instead of the money being in the bank, it's sitting in that house. And at least we have an opportunity for the money to grow within that house. 100%. But if we need the money back, we'll just sell the house and bring the money back. Exactly. So, and that kind of altered my risk appetite a lot because I realized that it's not a done deal. You can liquidate.
Yeah.
But I think one of the most important things to make it work is to just get on the same page.
Yeah.
Make sure.
We talk about this stuff almost daily. Yeah. You'll sit outside at our place and just talk about it, just to recap the day and what's happening tomorrow. And it sounds like way over the top.
Yeah.
But it's like, we love it.
Yeah. It keeps you on the same page as well.
We're on the same journey and it keeps, I think, because we're both working towards it together and we both work hard for each other and for our future. So it's not one doing all the heavy lifting. It's a joint effort. And I think that's how we go about everything in our lives and our relationship. He does more cleaning now.
Oh, is that the third thing? You have to focus on cleaning?
I reckon that's the thing for me is have the right people around you. All the challenges I went through the last couple of years and all the things that went wrong, is I didn't have the right people.
Yes.
And it takes time to learn who the right people are. Yes. That's not as easy as just sitting down and talking to people. Like, you've got to understand people and learn. Yeah. You've got to have a good foundational knowledge yourself to be able to go, okay, that's the right person. Yeah. Well, you can't just, but that takes time. Yes. You can't just, sometimes you're lucky to meet people definitely easily, but
even just people with ambition.
Yeah.
And people who want more out of their life, being around those types of people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
They know what we're doing, but we couldn't go to them for advice. Yeah. It's not that we're any more ahead. It's just that they're doing their lives and their priorities and
priorities that we're
doing. 100%, yeah. So you can't really go to them for advice. They don't understand what we go through. That's why. And I think the move for us was like, Melbourne is family time. Yeah. WA's business.
Yeah. And I think drawing that line there's nothing wrong with that. I think it makes total sense. It's choosing your own network and choosing your own network at different times of life. That's very important too. That's what I've learned along the way as well, that your network would change continuously as you grow because you would outgrow your network because, you've reached the stage where these people now cannot help you because they don't want to grow further out, right? And so when I was building my first business, I had a particular network, and, and I still talk to him. It's not like, you cut ties. That's not the case. You still are friends. But when you're building up a bigger brand, you're building up multiple streams of income, or that's your aspiration, then you go down the path of, these people don't have those aspirations anymore, and they don't want to have a bigger portfolios, or they almost look down upon people who fly business class, right? So how do you connect with them when you're talking financials, right? So
I think my family, when I said, my sister, she said, I've got a lot of equity in our house. And I said, why don't you use it for an investment? And the kind of generalization there was, that's just too much hassle and stress.
Yes.
I don't want to have tenants. I don't want to it would just be too hard. Yeah. And so living a much more simple life with their families for them. And it's not how we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it
gets to be completely okay.
Yeah. It's and it's fine, from their risk appetite perspective, right? It's okay that, they don't want to take risk. And of course, there is no rewards for them. Mm-hmm. But then people who take the risks and go down that path, there is rewards for them, right? I always turn around, and this is an interesting story. There was this particular friend of mine, and we were trying to basically do some, property transactions together, and they didn't have that risk appetite. And so I moved on and did it. And then 3 years later, we were having conversations, and there was a feeling of regret. I should have listened to you. I should have gone in and done that. I was like, that boat is gone.
Yeah.
I can't come back and do anything with you anymore, because now yeah, exactly. And people are like, oh, this guy is, gone further out, and now he's not going to help. I can't help you anymore, because, you had that opportunity and missed. And so it's all about also, catching the opportunities at the right time, so.
When there's a good one in
100%. Yeah. And taking that leap of faith and, basically going down that path and doing it at that point in time. So, yeah.
Thinking about what the worst thing could happen is, because there's always an exit strategy.
Yes. And I think that's what's the key, right? Know how to take an exit without burning yourself, right? If you know how to come out of this unscathed, then that's your path forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you for sharing your story today. I think this was amazing. This was awesome for viewers and listeners. If you have your stories, or if you want to reach out to Luke and Sarah, please reach out to us at info@helpmebuy.com.au. If you have any comments in relation to your stories, please do share. If you want to jump on the podcast, please do share in the comments below. Thank you for listening to us today. Take care. Stay safe. Keep smiling. Keep investing. This is Moss, Luke, and Sarah checking out today. Adios.